Welcome everyone, it's Gray Shirt again. I'm rocking the gray shirt as always. Welcome to the first stop motion battle report of the channel. Hopefully there are more to come. Please let me know down in the comments below if you enjoyed this, and if you want to see more, then press that like button. Now, we're going to go over the list, but before we go to the list, we'll do a quick caveat. This is the first game I've played. This is a solo hammer game where I'm playing both armies. The first game I've played probably since 6th edition, I believe, and the last game I played was Tyranids versus Death Guard. So, let's get into it. Now, I tried to keep it simple, so it is 1,000 points versus 1,000 points. We didn't use power level, but we did play an open war mission with open war rules, annihilation, table quarters, and moving on from there. And it is a normal size board. I believe it's a 60 by 44 inch board, and I believe that might be it. Oh, the only stratagems I utilized was Overwatch. I didn't want to add the complexity of other stratagems. Perhaps in the future, if I get the data cards and everything, we'll be able to add those in. And unfortunately, there was no dice counter, or you couldn't see me roll the dice. I rolled them off camera. But you do see the models fall over when they take damage, or if there's there should be a wound counter next to the tanks. You should be able to see that. And the wound counter kind of follows them around, and in some shots it's there, sometimes some shots it's not there. But otherwise, I hope you enjoy, and feel free to leave me a comment down below if there's something you want to see. I have I got a fair few amount of armies. These are the two that I have most painted, but got other stuff working on the pipeline. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see some more stuff like this. All right, let's get in the list let's get in those lists, All right, so we got our Blood Angels. We got it's a patrol detachment. We got Mephiston. He is leading the charge. I actually rolled randomly on his 6 sanguinary. I think it's sanguinary discipline powers. He's got quickening, blood boil, and blood lance. And then we got 2 tech squads. All these models that are in these lists are basically models I had already painted and assembled, and for my other armies or other loadouts. So that's why they came with what they had. We have a tax squad. It's got old school firstborn. So we have Kami Melta and Power Fist, Heavy Bolter, and a grab gun. This squad was made when grab guns were like super popular, and I've just had this squad for forever. And I like the idea of the Kami Melta and Power Fist. Back in the day when I made this squad, when I made these guys so long ago, it was the one-shot Melta for the Kami Melta. So whatever. Then we got next tax squad. This tax squad comes from the Heroes. What do they call that? It is made up of models that come from the Heroes Series 1 Japanese release kit. That's why they're loaded out the way they are. We have a sergeant with plasma pistol, power sword. We got a missile launcher. We got a flamer. 5 sanguinary guard, and 4 of them with the bolt gun and the sword, and 1 of them with the inferno pistol and the power fist. I did not appreciate actually how powerful or how scary sanguinary guard are until I got them on the field and started pretty much any infantry unit that they come across, they do some chomping. So hope you enjoyed that. We got a ball predator. We got full DACA, 100 killer missile, storm bolter, twin assault cannon, 2 heavy bolters, a lot of good stuff. And we got a rhino with a 100 killer missile and a storm bolter. Let's move on to the Catachans. For the Catachan list, same. This is 996 points. Couldn't get it straight to 1,000. That would have been crispier. Patrol detachment, we have Colonel Ironhand Strachan leading the front. Sly Marlborough. It's weird because Sly is an elite choice, but in in Battlescribe, he comes up as a HQ choice, which is interesting. We have 2 infantry squads. They're loaded out exactly the same. We got bolt gun, power sword on the sergeant, and a flamer within the squad. The rest are just las guns. Then we have a Militarum Tempesta Scion squad with 2 plasma guns, and the sergeant Tempester has a plasma pistol and a power fist. Unfortunately, he did not get to use either of those. Then in the elite slot, we have a Commissar Silvina Rain, and she was more just kind of points fill, and a Sergeant Harker. Then for fast attack, we have a armored sentinel with a heavy flamer, 100 killer missile, and sentinel chainsaw. And we have a hellhound with a heavy stubber, 100 killer missile, inferno cannon, and multi-melta. And to round it off, we got 2 Valkyries with double heavy bolter, double multiple rocket pod, and las cannon. So that's pretty much it. Lists are done for, and I hope you enjoy the bat rep. let's get it going. See you guys on the other side. Well, that was it. Let's go into recap. We got a Catachan victory. They scored 4.2 victory points. I don't know if victory points are scored in points, but we'll go with that. And the Blood Angels got 2.2. The way it is it wants you to add up all the victory points divided by 10, minus the one where the Catachans did get Slay the Warlord because they were able to take down Mephiston. That was not an easy job. As you see, we poured a lot of firepower into him, and he was hard to kill. There was in the beginning when you see like the blue power up when he's in the psychic phase, and then it doesn't do anything. He actually perils trying to do quickening, and then he failed to miss, and then he missed cast Blood Boil because he was going to try to Blood Boil the guys on top of the shelf. He ended up just shooting him with a plasma pistol and killing one of them. But yeah, he perils, but he has Lord of Death, and Lord of Death basically says that if you would take a wound, roll a d6, and if on a 5+ you don't take that wound. And so, even though it's a mortal wound, it's not a save. It's like a special rule. So I'm like, sounds about right. So yeah, Mephiston was hard to kill. He took an entire... I mean, he did lose... How many wounds he has? 6. He did lose 3 wounds to the Hellhound, which that was pretty good. Although, one thing I noticed is that Last Cannons hardly ever hit off the Valkyries. The Hunter Killer missiles hardly ever hits anything. But on the Space Marine side, that missile launcher tended to connect more than it didn't connect. So that was pretty fun. Sentinels... Man, Sentinels are both stupidly resilient and not very good combat-wise. So... in melee combat, that was funny. The Rhino, I charged with the Rhino just because I was having some fun, but I realized really quickly that the Rhino, doesn't dish. No, actually, technically speaking, the Rhino can dish out a lot of damage, and the Sentinel can only do one attack, and the Chainsaw doesn't really do all that much, and so the Rhino has 3 attacks per melee combat. That's why I ran the Sentinel out of there. Which is weird, because I always thought, the Chainsaw and the Sentinel, it would do more. Not so much, but... Because he's not infantry, so he doesn't get the Catachan attack keyword. But, yeah, let's start. So, you probably noticed I did my move out of order on, I believe, the first turn. But, whatever, it's not that big a deal. They weren't going to get shot at anyways. And I had them set up in such a way I wasn't going to shoot at them, or they weren't going to get shot at yet. So, those are fine. MVP on the Catachan side, I would definitely say it's either toss up between the Valkyries or the Hellhounds. Those guys did quite a bit of work. I misplayed Sly. I forgot that I could put him back in ambush once per game, and so I left him out. Had I remembered or read that a little closer, I definitely would have done his ambush ability again. On his first ambush ability, he tried to snipe Mephiston, and I think he did damage, but Mephiston was like, nope. So that was a thing. And then the MVP on the Blood Angel side, I would have to say, is the Sanguinary Guard. I should not have deployed them to take out the Scions, but oh boy, they ripped through those Scions super hard. Also, the Scions did on the first round of shooting, one of the plasma guns killed himself. So I was like, well, that's a thing. But yeah, those Scions aren't as. It's interesting how they're not as resilient as the infantry squad. But then again, the Scions, I think because the Sanguinary Guard are that terrifying, I think they weren't gonna survive anyways. There was I think there was one wound. If I go back and look at it, I'd have to look at it a little closer. But I think there was only one. Let's see, charge. So we got Sanguinard. So they had a total of 8 damage from the swords and 6 damage from the fists. That's way more than the remaining. I think there was only 6 left after shooting, because shooting did kill quite a bit of them. How many were killed in shooting? Yeah, 4 of them died during to shooting, so there's only 6 left. So yeah, those that melee was definitely won right after that. And then the Sanguinary Guard went after and took out Sly. Yeah. So I had a lot of fun. I don't know when what the next one's going to be. It won't be Blood Edges Catachans. I'm trying to work on getting my Sisters of Battle painted, working on getting a bunch of stuff painted. So I hope you enjoy. If there's other armies you want to see me do, yeah, just let me know. If you enjoy the stop motion, there are I do want to do this again, and I'm starting to learn more about how many pictures I have to take to get the right frame rate and everything. So we'll tackle that on the next one. Hope you enjoy and see you around. Goodbye.